What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Chael Sonnen points out Leon Edwards cheating in UFC 278 win. In the main event of UFC 278, Leon Edwards did the impossible when he put reigning champion Kamaru Usman to sleep with a brutal head kick. To make the feat even more impressive, the fight was one that Edwards was losing on the scorecards going into the 5th round. While many have poured the praise on Edwards for his thrilling comeback, former UFC title challenger Chael Sonnen sees things differently. In fact, he isn't sure that Edwards should have ever been in the position to finish the fight in the first place. He explained on his YouTube channel that in several instances, Leon Edwards grabbed the cage in order to help him escape unfavorable positions.
But Leon cheated in that match a whole bunch of times. Leon was frustrated in positions and had no way out of positions to the extent that he cheated repeatedly. Not once, not an accident, not the ref didn't see it. The ref saw it, the ref warned him, the ref saw it again, the ref stepped in, the ref broke the act 5 and 6 times.
While Sonnen certainly isn't wrong that Edwards grabbed the fence during the fight, many fans were quick to flood the comments of his video as they pointed out the numerous times Usman also committed infractions during the fight. Over the course of the bout, Usman repeatedly grabbed the fence in order to prevent himself from being taken down, in addition to notably putting his fingers in Edwards' gloves and exaggerating a very questionable low blow. Despite his criticism of the newly crowned champ, Sonnen explained that he wasn't necessarily giving Edwards a hard time, just simply setting the record straight on the fight. Fortunately for both men, they will have the opportunity to square off inside the cage once more, as both Edwards and Usman will look to break the tie and close out the trilogy in their favor. When they share the octagon for the 3rd time, who do you think gets the win? Give us your predictions in the comments below. Next up, Robert Whittaker teases move to 205. Former UFC middleweight champion Robert Whittaker is in a unique position and not in a good way. The former TUF Smashes winner has lost twice to reigning champion Israel Adesanya, making a potential trilogy fight less than appealing to the UFC brass. While Whittaker has continued to hold his place as the division's clear #1 contender, 2 losses to the sitting champion mean that his chances of earning himself another shot at the belt are incredibly low. Despite that, the Reaper is set to share the octagon with Marvin Vettori next weekend on the main card of UFC Fight Night Paris. Although the fight could see Whittaker defend his #1 ranking in the division, it seems as though the former champ's heart is set on an eventual move to light heavyweight. Whittaker spoke to Submission Radio this week where he drew parallels to his move from welterweight to middleweight nearly 10 years ago. Whittaker explained that after making the decision to fight at middleweight, he quickly realized that he would be unable to return to 170 pounds given the amount of muscle that he had put on by going up a division. Although he has the desire to make the move to light heavyweight eventually, he did acknowledge that he knows that he would be at a significant height disadvantage. The Auckland, New Zealand native explained that the move to light heavyweight would be a permanent one, for better or for worse.
Like I said, once I make the decision to go up to 205, I'm there. That'll be my division. You know, I'd finish my career there, for better or worse.
Yeah.
Doing really well at 185. You know, really well there. Yeah, I'm definitely the most dangerous man in the division.
With Whittaker on the fence about a potential move to light heavyweight, we want to hear from you. Do you think the Reaper should make the move up in weight, or do you think he will find success against Israel Adesanya in a potential 3rd matchup? Give us your thoughts down below. Dean Thomas calls out Jake Paul over UFC 278 criticism. UFC 278 was undoubtedly a thrilling night of action for fight fans from start to finish. The main card saw Australian Tyson Pedro kick things off with a thrilling win over Harry Hunsucker before then playing host to a slew of noteworthy matchups, namely Paulo Costa and Luke Rockhold's co-main event scrap and Leon Edwards' historic win over Kamaru Usman. Despite the action, not everyone was pleased. Internet personality Jake Paul was quick to voice his criticisms for both the main and co-main events, as he called the display put forth by Costa and Rockhold embarrassing for the sport of MMA. To make matters worse, after former pound-for-pound kingpin Kamaru Usman was knocked out in the 5th round of his main event scrap with Leon Edwards, Paul began to post memes of Usman, mocking the former champ for wanting to fight Canelo Alvarez. The criticism brought quite a bit of heat on the younger Paul brother, as many, including Ariel Helwani, were quick to rip the controversial personality for his disrespect. Now, Dean Thomas has joined in on the criticism of Paul. He spoke to MMA Fighting recently where he explained that Paul's criticism of the fights is contradictory to how he has tried to portray himself. As Thomas explained, Paul says he's an advocate for paying fighters more and claims to be a voice for fighters who feel as though they can't speak out against the UFC. However, in the same breath, he won't hesitate to relentlessly troll those same fighters when the opportunity arises.
When you go on there and you rip a guy like Usman, and then you ripping, legends like Luke Rockhold, like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you just came out. You 24 years old. Man, I've been fighting longer than he's been alive. And yet he's dogging people. He's dogging fighters.
So far, no response yet from Paul, who has shifted his focus to fellow entertainer KSI, who recently picked up 2 wins in YouTube boxing. Whether you're a professional athlete, a fight fan, or a janitor, taking care of your health should be a top priority for everyone that's watching this video. If you're not getting proper nutrients your body needs on a daily basis, you won't be at 100%. That's why today's video is presented to you by AG1. AG1 by Athletic Greens is a nutritional drink that supports immunity and serves as an all-in-one convenient source for all of the nutrients you need. Whether you eat dairy-free, keto, paleo, gluten-free, or vegan, AG1 is lifestyle-friendly to all of them and easy to drink. Your favorite fighters get ahead in life by creating sustainable habits. Drinking 1 scoop of AG1 a day is an extremely easy habit that makes it simple to absorb all of your key nutrients and perform better no matter what you're doing. Their formula is full of ingredients critical for keeping athletes and high-performing individuals in the zone by supporting your brain and focus. I've been drinking AG1 for roughly 3 weeks now, and adding it to my morning routine has changed my life for the better. It makes me significantly more alert and locked in on whatever I have in front of me through the day. AG1 is also NSF certified for sport and packed with minerals for your recovery. Use our link below to get a 1-year supply of the immune supporting vitamin D3, K2, and 5 AG1 packs for free with your first purchase. You cannot put a price tag on your own health, so what better to invest in than your body? And before we continue, make sure that you give that like button some love and be sure to subscribe to the MMA Zone for all the latest news. Big John McCarthy slams Sean Strickland for comments regarding Rockhold. In the co-main event of UFC 278, former Strikeforce and UFC middleweight champion Luke Rockhold stepped into the octagon for the final time. For Rockhold, the fight marked his first in 3 years. In 2019, the California native made the walk to the octagon at light heavyweight in hopes of rebounding from a loss to Yoel Romero a year prior. Unfortunately, things didn't pan out for Rockhold at light heavyweight as he found himself on the wrong end of a KO before taking a hiatus from the sport that lasted nearly 3 years. When he returned to the octagon to fight Costa earlier this month, it was a rough night at the office for the 37-year-old as he suffered a broken nose early on in the bout. Despite his best efforts, Rockhold dropped a unanimous decision and subsequently retired post-fight during his octagon interview with Joe Rogan. Following the fight, fellow middleweight Sean Strickland took the opportunity to express how thrilled he was that Rockhold retired, saying that no one who has met the former champ would want to hang out with him and that he was glad that he would no longer have to hear Rockhold's name mentioned. As if that wasn't enough, Strickland also criticized the competition Rockhold faced during his rise to champion status and during his tenure as champion, saying that the overall level of the middleweight division back then simply wasn't what it is now. Those comments didn't sit too well with Big John McCarthy, who spoke on a recent episode of his Weighing In podcast to warn Strickland against criticizing the former champ.
I'm just going to say it as simple as it is. Luke Rockhold was a world champion, 2 organizations. Until such time that you are, have some respect for him. He did it. Nothing against Sean. I love Sean Strickland. I think he's a blast. I love watching him fight. There's no reason to get on somebody, in that whole thing.
Strickland, of course, recently got knocked out in the first round of his #1 contender scrap with Alex Pereira back at UFC 276. He will look to return to the win column later this year against Jared Cannonier and begin the climb back to title contention. And now for our breaking news story of the day. We have UFC fighter Khamzat Chimaev sending a warning to Nate Diaz before their UFC 279 clash.
I could wait for the title, just waiting. I'm not top 3 and just have to wait. But I took that fight. That guy is not top, but he's famous, everyone loves him. Everyone talk about this gangster, that but I'm gonna come for I eat the gangster for the breakfast, gonna that guy, boy.
Who do you think will win this fight? Let us know down in the comment section below. Stay tuned to the MMA Zone for more updates regarding the case. Today's video was packed with some juicy stories from the fight world. What are your thoughts about what's going on in the MMA? Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the MMA Zone to see more videos just like this. See you next time.